All right, always smooth, always stylish, and always funky. That's Chromeo. And I'm Kevin Curtin here with the Austin Chronicle, transmitting live from ACL Fest, weekend one in Austin. Now I'm interested to know, legs, beautiful women's legs, seem to be a big part of your guys' aesthetics. And there's a band that's been very influential and important from Texas who loves legs as well, and I'm talking about ZZ Top. Mm-hmm. What do y'all know about ZZ Top?
We love them.
You do?
Yeah, they're hugely influential for us as well. Mm-hmm. First of all, the legs as keyboard stands idea came from the Rough Boy ZZ Top video. If you recall, at one point there's a table and a girl's like there's female legs walking, and the table like moves forward in the spaceship. That's where our art directors got the idea for the legs keyboard stand, and we really admire the way that ZZ Top can combine musical credibility and humor, because that's something we strive to do as well.
Yeah. Is that a delicate balance? There's measures of irony in your music, of course.
And ZZ Tops as well, right?
Also, it's really
Cheap Sunglasses, TV Dinners, Tush, right?
Yeah.
Those could have been Chromeo song titles, right?
Yeah.
Like in a way.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's really, really hard. It's a total balancing act to try to incorporate a good dose of humor without becoming a joke or a comedy band. Mm-hmm. And you have to make it up with some like tasteful musicianship and also some like real
and untasteful
and
carefully curated untasteful musicianship.
and like some artistic coherence, like the fact that like in all the ZZ Top videos you had like the car and that you had this motif, and if you look at all the videos we had from this album, there's always been like the IROC, the white IROC in the desert.
So
they're a huge influence, and I think another thing that we admire with those guys is the longevity of their career. Mm-hmm. We're at the end of our first decade, and they sort of had a first decade being like a really dirty Texas blues band, and then the 80s came around and they became a pop band, right?
So I guess this is all coming to the question, when's the Billy Gibbons Chromeo collabo happen?
We're dying for it.
We got his number on my phone.
Really? Hook it up, dude. Okay. Yeah, we'd love to hang out with those guys.
Changing gears, I hear that you guys are launching kind of a fashion line. This question's for P, what would you put me in to look fly, man? I mean, take a look at what we're working with here.
What would I put you in?
Yeah, with Chromeo fashion-wise.
Just grow your beard a little bit.
Okay.
Panama hat, Hawaiian shirt, shorts, khaki shorts.
Okay.
And tevads.
Do I need chains?
No.
One.
In your front, yeah.
Maximum of one.
Maximum of one chain. All
that right. One, actually, just that one would be great.
Okay, lose this.
Lose the big one. Yeah, that's very hippie. But the other one is Panama hat compatible.
All right, the single Old 45s. We're talking about the songs from a jukebox that make you feel in that good dancing, loving, romantic mood. What were those influences that speak to what Chromeo's music is, that informed your guys' tastes? The old records.
Well, we're constantly, like, the funny thing about us is that, like, old records to us, they're like new records because, we didn't grow up in the 70s. And we grew up in the 80s, but living in Montreal, Canada, we weren't exposed to a ton of funk and soul music. So we started discovering this music in the 90s when we were in high school together. And so that music was new to us, right? So we experienced George Clinton in 1995 like he was a new musician.
Wow.
And it was shocking to us French kids in Canada, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like we never thought of it as like a nostalgic thing, like, oh, music was so much better back then.
We didn't live through it to be nostalgic about it. We just discovered it as if it was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So, it could have been funk records like Zap, or, soul records like Daryl Hall stuff, or, 80s pop records like Huey Lewis, and that's kind of, then we were like, wow, that music has been forgotten in certain ways, or it doesn't get the respect it deserves. So when we started Chromeo, we wanted to really wear those influences on our sleeve.
Beautiful. You guys have been friends for a long time, I take it. What are you guys most competitive about?
There's no competition. No, not really.
Not unlike who gets to drive the car in the music video or anything.
He doesn't. We just complete each other. He doesn't drive. I don't know.
Oh, nice.
I've been driving him around since we're 16 years old.
Are you serious?
I tried teaching him once and it was catastrophic, so he never touched the car wheel again. Never drove in my life.
What about in the studio? Can you talk a little bit about each of your roles in recording and basically how the Chromeo pudding gets cooked?
In terms of writing, we do it both together. It really depends on the song, kind of who does what, in terms of the music, and then
Writing is really intertwined, but mostly Dave will do the lyrics, and I'll just lay out the music harmonically with ideas that we have, or I'll lay out demos,
Yeah.
But it's really 80% of it is really intertwined. We can't even tell who did what.
So I understand. I've read before that you come from a Jewish heritage and you're from an Arab heritage. Is that true? Is that accurate? And do you guys have a message as friends to the wider world about relations and peace?
Focus on similarities, not differences. There are many more similarities.
there's a lot of similarities, between cultures, but somehow I think people just kind of want to wear the specificities of their own background they kind of want to make that a point, well, we do this different, but when we met each other, it was like, oh, you do that, oh, we do that, your mom does that, oh, my mom does that, so I think what kind of a long-winded explanation of what P said is that there's different cultures actually have so much in common, more than what we think and more than what we value, and we value as a group, we value those commonalities instead of talking about how different things are, so.
Well, I guess we should close it out by saying, what are you guys going to do to experience Austin while you guys are around? Do you have time to chill?
We were on 6th until 4 in the morning last night.
Where'd you go? Do you remember what club?
Yeah, we went to the
Jackalope thing.
We went to the Jackalope. We went to the Bikini one. We went up to
Charlie's something.
the House of Vans ones. What's that one called? The one with the rock there.
Yeah. Charlie's?
Cheer Up Charlie's.
We tried getting in the steampunk room and we couldn't get in.
Yeah, the steampunk lounge wouldn't let us in.
Oh, man. Well, are you going to check out Switched On Electronics? Do you guys know about Switched On?
No, what is that?
It's the biggest analog instrument store in the world.
Oh, really?
In Austin, yeah.
Where is it?
It's on Cesar Chavez Street, just east of the highway.
What?
So you got to check it out,
Yeah,
man.
I heard about
You're going
it.
to walk in there.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Oh.
Yeah, we love it out here. The cool thing is that we get to come back next week. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll come back and check out more spots.
Y'all
But
live it up while you're here, and thanks for talking.
yeah, thanks for having us.
Appreciate it, y'all.